Welcome back to another episode of A Record of My Father. Here we are today, talking about legacy, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Well, we were in a past episode we were talking about end of life discussions and stuff like that, and they were like, "Well, what do you want to leave behind?" And it's like, okay, I mean, what is your leave behind really? When you think about legacy, it's like, what is it? Is it that you want the rest of the world to think of you? Do you give a shit what the world thinks of you? Do you care about your relatives, your family, and stuff like that? And do you care about their perception of you up after you're dead, or does it really matter? I don't, I think it's a really kind of weird concept to explore because anybody that says anything that, hey, Zach, after you die, I'm going to do this, this, and this, it's like, well, so what?
It's kind
You
of
know?
just me too. I'm your legacy in a way, right?
Well, I would say that there are probably a lot of people that know me that I've left an impression on, whether it be good or totally fucked up.
So you would consider
So
relationships as well legacy.
yeah, well, I mean, my brother died 2016. He
Yeah,
left a lasting thing on me. I think my father died in 96. He definitely left a lasting, impression on me. My mother was, I think 2000. And so the people have left things. I have uncles and aunts that I knew, and I only met them, say, 10 times. And shockingly, they left like either most were fine. And if people ask about them, it would be one thing or the other. There were some that were that, and I don't know if that's really legacy or that's memory of what a person is.
I think
I mean,
that
it's like,
that's a good question. Is legacy memory of the person? I would say that legacy is more than an impression on somebody. That's weird. There's oil on my
yeah,
computer here. But yeah, I would say that it's more than a an impression. I think that it would be you know how people donate money to schools, right? And there's a building. I don't know why I consider legacy a
right.
physical object more so than a person or an impression. That's what I would
Oh,
consider
wow.
legacy, right?
It's very interesting when I look at the legacy, Legacy, an amount of money or property left to someone in a will. My grandmother died and unexpectedly left me a small legacy. I didn't realize that. That's actually a true definition.
That's
The
interesting.
long,
I didn't think so either.
See, I was thinking this: the long-lasting impact of particular events, actions that took place in the past or of a person's life. He left us a rich legacy of buildings that are both innovative. See, I don't believe I'm thinking more of that. I think you're the mind of what I think.
The memory of somebody, I think, is what you were getting at
Yeah, I
before.
think
Yeah.
I'm pushing more for the memory, but maybe that's not true legacy. True legacy is when you did something like Socrates or Aristotle or something like that, and you move things to change or people to remember you for something that you did that was like uh amazing
The
and
lasting impression on the world. Yeah.
right, and a lasting
That's what
impression on
you're
the
talking
world. I
about.
mean, I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody who knows anybody that's going to have that. I know people that want to give money to schools and get a little plaque with their name on it and stuff like that, but I don't really
I always found
that's
that
not
funny. Yeah, I didn't. These
yeah.
institutions that already have millions of dollars, and you're gonna you're gonna give them money
Well,
just to.
it's funny when you think about like when you give charity, when you're somewhat of a I mean I'm somewhat of a philanthropist. And when you give money away, when you start out, you start out and you feel good, it makes you feel good and you want to have this whole I want people to know that I'm a good person. And that this is me, not trying to tack this on somebody else's feet. I
I
don't
feel like a
know
lot
if
of people are like
you.
that though.
So, but you feel good about hey, I go them $100, $1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million, whatever the hell you do, whatever your thing is, you feel good about that, and you want to be noticed because I noticed through the years. I think when my wife and I got married, that's when we first started giving, and that through the years, in the beginning, I really wanted to see my name, you know, in in the annual report or something like that. I didn't need like there were people that I had one charity that they bought a van for the charity and their name all over the outside of the van.
Oh
And
my
I
gosh.
just thought, but then let's say, okay, that's tacky as hell. So it's not tacky to buy a building at Harvard and put your name on there and call it the
Yeah.
wing of da 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 da.
That's the
So
same thing to me.
why is it any different just because you had more money, you're less tacky? No, you were tacky. You should have just, yeah. And as I've gotten older, or maybe it's just more experience, that you start to realize that, do I need someone? Well, think about oh gosh, the robber barons of the turn of the century, at the turn of
Rockefeller,
the
Vanderbilt,
yeah, and all the Rockefeller Center. Think about those names and why those names are those names. Those names are
Vanderbilt
those names
College,
because they either
Carnegie
donated
Mellon.
a lot of money, they built them, the Kennedy Center, things like that. Uh, they paid for a portion of it or donated a portion of it to get their name on there. And now hundreds of, well, not even hundreds, it's, 150 years, 130 years,
Millions
something
of
like that.
years later.
They're still there. You don't see names on buildings. Do you see names on buildings from, George Washington's house? Other than that, you don't see them on other buildings. But then I don't know if we were doing,
Park
you know,
benches. Park benches are a big
yeah,
thing.
yeah, but I mean, that's they're going to be gone. And how long is a park bench going to last?
With modern what is it? The
50,
hybrid
100
wood now.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that probably.
Yeah. So you're saying
That's
whatever.
a good point. That's a good
Well, I
point.
mean, are you doing it because you want it to last a long time, or are you doing it because you want
Generally
to,
those are for dead people that aren't even the original purchasers of the said park bench too. It's
yeah,
like
it is kind
for
of funny
so and
because
so.
I mean, I
You
I
ever see
hike
those?
I hike
Yeah.
a lot out in Great Falls, and they have park benches donated to people that used to hike in the park all the time.
Yeah,
This
I've
is
seen those, yeah.
for Lanny Snottle, and because he's here and he didn't die here. He used to sit here and overlook the Potomac River. I do a lot of hiking there, and there's a number
I
of
know
different,
exactly what bench you're talking about.
yeah, and
The
you're like, I
overlook,
laugh
yeah.
about that. It's like, wow. But then you go to, when we used to go to the beach, Rehoboth Beach, you would see every single park bench there had a name on it.
Yeah.
Every tree had a name on it. Everything had a name on it. Give us a
What
hundred
is the
dollars.
trees too? Yeah, on the front of the tree. On the
They put a
ground. You ever
plate
see
on.
those?
Yeah,
See those ones too?
yeah, yeah. It just I remember when they were well, we got, when we did Fromage and Cassandra, and it's like we did something. They're like, we want to put your name on something. I'm like, eh. And it's like, okay, my kitty,
Yeah.
put my kitty's names on there, and they put my kitty's names on there, and that's cool. So Fromage's name will last much longer than mine, and so will Cassandra's. So their time of death and they're born, it's the whole thing. So it's
As
really
they
kind of
should.
cool. I think that's
It's
cool.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's not just their name. What was it
Yeah.
on?
And their paw,
What
it's
was it
on a
on?
it's on a big concrete thing because they were building something at a lost dog and cat rescue place, and we were
That's nice.
nice to them, and they said we should. This is part of what we do, and I was just like, okay, cool, whatever you want to do. And then they started asking me, you got to fill out this form, and you got to give us your pet's name and birth and death, and what type of a cat, and what were his favorite hobbies, and all that. And they put all that crap on there. It's like, okay, cool.
Cat hobby.
But it's funny.
Favorite cat
It's really kind of
hobbies.
interesting because I'm going to be cremated, and my cat has a freaking tombstone. How cool is that?
That is pretty cool.
I mean, it's like my cat's legacy is much longer than mine.
Well, they have a tombstone, but they're also cremated.
Yeah, yeah, I have them on my shelf
I wonder
downstairs.
how many people actually have a tombstone and are just cremated. It's just a spot to go.
Well, I think that
I think
what
more
they
than
do,
we think.
what they do at a lot of places is they have like lock boxes, or I don't know what you call them. They're they're areas where they have like they almost look like lockers, and they have 20 lockers and little big giant plates there, and inside there is an urn with the ashes of the person that died, and you buy that space. So
I've
you're
seen those as well.
so
Yeah.
then you can go and visit, Uncle Zachy at the dead place. And I don't I don't know. I mean, I understand why, but I just don't get the same. Occasionally I've gone out of my way to go to visit people's graves, and it just doesn't.
Doesn't
It's
do
not
anything
something that
for you.
resonates, you know. I mean, the only thing it does is it makes you think deeper at the moment about them, and you think about their legacy at that point, or their not necessarily legacy memories, not that. Maybe we should call this legacy and memories, or memories and legacy, you know, because we're really drifting into that. And it's
It's
like when I
kind of
think
the
about it,
same concept as a religious center, though, right? Like a place
yeah,
in which you go to worship
yeah,
said person or to remember them.
well,
Because people feel
exactly.
very displaced when people die.
Yeah,
And having a spot in the ground apparently is relieving. Isn't that funny?
that's true. I think
Uh,
that's a very big thing because you want to go and you need this this release to go. And sometimes I think a lot of it is that you want to go there and you want to say the things that you never got to say. And you
mm.
feel like and you feel like that is an opportunity to release that tension or, coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Well, it's also a
And
representation in the physical world when there is no longer a representation in the physical world of their said body,
oh,
right?
oh, that's woo. Wow. Would you read that stuff? You could.
I went to college one time.
Oh my God, that's right. Oh no, you went to a good college.
I'm really smart. I'm really smart.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I think that having a physical representation, because it's something you can see, because you can hear videos or
yeah.
recordings, but you can't. I guess you
Yeah, I
could
have.
see a video, but a video is on a place. A video is on a place that you can go
Yeah.
to
Well, it
for
will
release, like you said.
when I hear certain ones. I don't have any of my parents, but when I have one of my brother, when I hear it go off, it's just sort of like it stops me and it makes me think about, moments and all that stuff. You just laugh.
Hmm.
And it is good. I think it's a really, really good, and that's one of the reasons we have this here. So that, if you ever want to say, hey, he was a real asshole, you can point to specific instances and say, see,
When he was a prick, right? Here's a
yeah.
video on, here's a Facebook calendar reminder every
Oh
year.
yeah, that's oh God, that
That
one
one
he's
time he told me to go fuck myself.
hold it only one time? Are you kidding me?
Maybe a couple times. Maybe a few
Yeah.
Facebook memories like that.
Yeah, we have a lot of those. A
But what
lot
do
of that.
you
Honesty's good. I think it's great.
oh,
It's
I think
great.
it's the most
Yeah.
important thing.
I mean, for me, when I think of legacy, I think of the memory side, and I think that I want to make people smile. I want to evoke a feeling that says, wow, uh, that was he added to my life. That's what I want. That's when it comes right down to it. I want to be, wow, he added to my life, you know, not the other way around. I don't want to be, I don't want to be, oh God, I hate, oh, well, there's certainly, I mean, I guess in everybody's case, and mine in particular as well, there are those that won't have liked you or didn't like what you did, or you did something that pissed them off, and that'll be their memory of you, but I mean, they'll probably never know that you died. I mean, because you think about it, it's like the number of people that cross through your life and life. I wonder how many that is. 10,000, you think?
Probably more than that that just see you walking around on the street.
Well, I'm saying
Like
anybody you have interaction with conversation, text, email, whatever.
acquaintances. You're talking general
Acquaintances. Yeah, I guess
acquaintances.
that's acquaintances. And it could be, would you consider that on Facebook if you say you comment on it? I don't consider that in anything other than just having fun to piss people off, but
I always
that's
wondered what
probably,
it was like when you couldn't constantly be updated on these people that like you are no longer friends with, that you can't check up on them back before the internet and what that was like to be able. It was such a, I
you
imagine a healthier world in which you can't constantly be updated on somebody's life after they choose to leave yours. Isn't that? I feel like it was much more.
I think it was more, in some ways, more genuine
Yeah,
because
there we
you
go.
would, but also that most of what you heard was secondhand. You didn't, you never saw anything
Mm,
firsthand. It was all secondhand.
okay.
It was all squished into certain time periods of the day. I mean, I would know if you were my kid, I was my parents' kid, and when I moved out, I would see them once or twice a month. And I wouldn't, and there was no like long, what did you do? Where have you been?
No
I was
tracking
I was
things.
working. There wasn't anything, none of that at all. Nothing. Did you
It's
did you
phone calls, but other than
did you
phone
get your
calls,
license plate? Did you get this? Did you get there's none of this oversight. None of that. It was just like, if I didn't get it, I paid the fine and they wouldn't ask and I wouldn't tell them. Why would I? Didn't matter,
if anything,
you
it's
know.
become the unknown has become more known in the past
Micromanaging, I think, is a
eight
big deal.
years. Yeah. I mean, helicopter parenting was the big thing when I was in elementary school. I
I
remember
don't think that's changed.
that was a huge thing. That was a huge kind of introductory. Maybe it's just because they put a label on it. Maybe that's why it was big, but it was always
That's
a thing.
but it was there, but also I think that isn't whatever it is now. There's actually apps that they're tracking apps. And I saw it, and it was like this new company and startup, and to invest in it, and almost made me crap my pants. I was just like looking at it, going, like, "Are you kidding me?" And it is a new thing that crosses your child's schedule with where they are and how long they are there.
How do you
And I was
mean?
like,
Like
"Oh,
at
like
school
yeah, you're
or
supposed to go to school. You're at school, then you have band practice, but you're not. You're not band practice."
that's
And
a
then you
Google
sent
Calendar
And
for
then you no
a
no, and then you
kid?
sent me a no, but it matches with your Find My Friends. It's a link. It's
Sign me
essentially
up. I want to invest money in that. People are gonna eat that up. That's
I know. Well,
crazy.
the thing is on the one side, it's like you
That's
know,
so invasive.
don't you think you should know where little Hepzibah is? Like if she didn't go to cheerleading practice, and it's like, oh my God. And then what if well, I mean, and I understand from the fear perspective because that's what all the shit has been like what they do is they say, we don't know where Zach is. What's he been doing? Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know. He could be dead on the side of the street. And this is the way it used to be when we didn't have a phone or anything. He could be dead on the side of the street. We'll pick him up tomorrow. And we'll shovel up his body. Someone will come across him. And instead of, oh my God, he's at McDonald's. Oh my God, he's gone to blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, he's over here. What's he doing? What do you think he's doing? He must be drinking. He must be doing drugs. Oh, he's with hookers, and you're like, because that's what your mindset does when you're a parent. You don't jump to, wow, he's probably studying extra for the SATs and he's probably learning a new language. You actually say he's robbing a bank and he's killing people and he's dealing drugs.
It's never
And you're like,
positive. It's
what?
never positive.
I don't know why that is. I mean, no matter how great the kid is, the parents immediately, and maybe that's just me.
Speculate. Yeah, they jump to
I shouldn't
conclusions.
say that. I shouldn't say that. I'm just
I
like,
feel like most do though. I think you're right. Well, they're
yeah.
always worried about
Well,
what could happen.
most do to themselves. They would never tell anyone outside of themselves that that's what they're thinking. You know what I mean? It's not like I would share that with the neighbors. Oh my God, I think he's doing this. No, no, you wouldn't do that. That would be
Look where he is. Look where he is. Somewhere. No, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of an introspective thing.
Yeah. Well, it's you're really showing your blind spots when you do things like that. But
Exactly.
that app in itself just scared me to death. And it just made me think, wow, what's the difference between that and you're knowing where your spouse is and then knowing I mean, and do you I think there's a point where knowing every step of your day and whether you're here, and it will send you alerts if you have a 30-minute class, a 30-minute after school activity, and then you don't, and then you're supposed to come home and you're not home in X number of times. So you can set up things that will ping you that will say, hey, Zach's left school at 4 o'clock. It's now 5. It's a 20-minute drive. Ping, ping, ping. Zach is not there. He is over here. Should we ask him what he's doing? And you're just like, whoa.
Yeah, that's a level of invasiveness that is because I
It's
think
and it
playing
only gets more.
hooky and skipping school and things like that
How
are
hard
a
is that?
part.
That's just
They're a
bad.
part of growing up and becoming
I think so,
human
but
beings.
well,
And
I think
you're
that
gonna take that away from kids, the
well,
inability to break the rules.
yeah,
That's
that's
like
that.
what is that gonna look like? What is that generation of people that are almost completely disallowed to break the rules?
Well, I would tell you that they will be incredible hackers.
Ah, I
They
mean,
will lose their phones on a regular basis. They will figure out what the chip is and how to make it reverse it. They will not accept Find My Friends. They will not do that. You will have a small percentage that do that.
mm,
Not a lot, just some. And those will be the people that still skip the school, still go out, in the smoking area and still smoke cigarettes at school when they're not supposed to, and still, but smoke weed or whatever the hell, drink beer and in eighth grade and all these other bad things that they're not supposed to do. They're going to be those people.
there's always
Just
going to be a
just raising my
workaround.
hand.
There
Just
is
raising
always going to be a workaround because when you
right.
impose new laws and regulations, there's
You put a constraint
always
on me, I'm
a
going to figure out a
workaround.
way around it. And you are going to double down on people that already follow the rules. And then you're going to increase their anxiety because they used to have 35 minutes to get home and now they have 30 because it only takes 30 and they never worried about it. Now they're going to worry about not being home on time. So you're adding one more stress to a 9-year-old. What the I just can't
Yeah.
imagine that.
Well, I also
I
think about the ability to what parents
But
always
their
do is
safety. Yeah,
they semi live vicariously through their children, and now this will
a
completely
lot.
allow for that to happen.
Yeah,
That'll completely allow for every goal and idea to be more
I've
forethought or
seen that a lot.
more sought after in
Yeah.
the
Well, I mean, you want you want your kid to be successful or whatever that is. I mean, it seems to be tied to financial gain or employment at great places and stuff like that. Uh, but also you want to somehow be part of it so you can say somehow the reason you did what you did is because of me, instead of letting them shine themselves. And I think that it's a hard thing to do to let kids grow and let them go, and that's why one of my goals with you was to develop a new relationship because I think that our relationship from through school and then from you graduating from going to college, one thing, graduating from college and moving on your own, it's now different. It's you're a man, you make your own
completely different.
decisions. You would make up, screw ups before and fix them and monitoring. Uh, we're not over the monitor. We're still working on the monitoring here at the Brown household. We're trying to narrow it down, lower it a little bit more, and the constant need for to make sure that you're wearing the right hat or
Hmm.
working on your car properly or painting your background right, whatever the. But
Is the background
but
good
we're
today?
better.
It's nice,
But
right?
it is. But we're a
It's
lot
nice.
better. We're a lot better, and I think that's distance is good. I think distance is great. I think the whole idea that you're on the West Coast and we're on the East Coast, I think is just like that to me has allowed us to, my, my wife and I to grow.
I think it's been the most important thing that I've ever done. I think that
Yeah.
that is hands down one of the most
Mhm.
valuable things you that I've ever done
I thought
is
going to UVA
move.
was, but
Oh, that's different. That's an academic
yeah,
achievement. I would
yeah,
say like socially or
yeah,
personally, I think finding yourself
yeah.
5,000 miles away. And then when I move to Thailand next year, it's going to be a little more difficult.
Oh, so you'll see me there.
You're gonna, oh yeah, you got the apartment next to mine.
Yeah, I'm going to get the
All right.
apartment next to you.
That's crazy.
Well,
What is that? A 9 hour time difference?
I
Something
have
like
no
that.
idea. That would be.
So your idea of a lasting legacy is to have people remember the positive things in their own lives. Is
Yeah,
what you're trying to
that
get
would be
at.
so cool. They're like, wow, this was good, and just like, instead of that fucker,
That's something I don't
that's
want
it.
either. Yeah.
That's it. I don't want a plaque because I think
No
that when you
plaque. I already had one built too.
okay, well, you can
I
have
already
one.
had a.
But to me, it's like, when you walk through the park and you see that this is Phil Brown's underwear statue, you don't know who Phil Brown is, and you see the statue and you're like, okay, so unless it was like Civil War hero or military hero or so where you can actually identify with it. But if it's just a placard on a wall that said Phil paid for this building or something, what or he helped this charity or he did this, I don't get it. I don't
Yeah, I
I
have to say the
understand
gym at UVA was dedicated to somebody. Every building was donated.
exactly.
And I can't tell you that I ever derived some sort of general respect
But
for
do you
those
remember the
people.
names?
No, I don't remember any of them. I remember the gym was called, oh God, it was called the something something aquatic center. And I
But
remembered the words aquatic center, but I don't remember the name that
that's
was.
funny.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that that person family that donated that are all going to get into UVA
Oh, without
first
a
off,
doubt. Without a doubt.
and they're all going to have some level of snootiness,
Of course.
and I think
Carry
that
their chin up here
yeah.
like this.
Well, I think the funny thing is when you inherit it, it's sort of like, well, you didn't do anything.
No, what did you do to it? Yeah.
You were the consummation of two other people, and you could have been an accident,
Exactly.
whatever, you know.
Could have been a dumpster baby for all you
Yeah, I don't know,
know.
one of those, man. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't understand
there's
that.
the
That's an
legacy.
interesting that people live off the backs of
So that isn't a
the
point.
people that
I
came
hadn't
before
thought
them.
about. Sorry,
No, 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 continue, continue.
I hadn't thought about you being, but you're right. That is like what I leave behind. When I think about the most important things I leave behind, other than what do you call those things that the bears leave behind when they're wiping their butt with the wrong kind of
Oh
toilet
yeah,
paper?
the was that the Charmin ads?
Yeah. Is it Charmin leave behinds?
I think it's Charmin. I
It's
remember
Charmin, I
seeing that
think. I believe it.
commercial and just being
Thinking
shocked that whoever
that they,
created that ad cycle was a moron.
yeah.
Jeez.
But it's
I'm
just
like, I could
so
make a better.
funny because it's like, really?
Well, if you think
But
about it
I know
too,
it.
the
And
toilet paper brands only have three big brands. So, and
right.
what are you gonna do? Not buy it? So you're gonna
Yeah.
choose one of the three anyway, and you're gonna have some affiliation with it. And so they don't really need to churn out ads at all because
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Not buy
Well,
it?
they sell more. They truly do.
Eh,
Yeah, they truly do.
you think so?
The ones that I remember, the ones that it really depends upon. Yeah, marketing and advertising does work when it's done properly.
For things
You
that you're
look
gonna
at
buy anyway?
Yes, even if it's a staple, you will buy
Huh.
more of that staple if you see the name more. That it's a fact.
All right.
Provided you see it in a positive light and it's actually in a memorable light. You have to be careful because there was something called Duracell and there was the bunny, the electric bunny,
I really like
and
the
there were
bunny. I
two
still
types
buy
of
the
batteries. There's Duracell and Energizer.
Duracell doesn't
And
exist anymore, does it?
yeah, they
Does
do.
Duracell still exist?
There's only two types of batteries to this day. I don't know what they call them anymore. They don't call them Everready anymore. They used to be the cat chasing the electric.
Everready. I
That
remember
was the other.
Everready.
Well, the people that ran the ad with, I think it might have been Duracell. Most people, when they went to buy batteries, they had no clue what the Energizer Bunny was. Energizer Bunny was this huge thing. And people half the time would say Everready, half the time they would say Duracell. So they had this great campaign to sell batteries, and but it didn't link the great campaign. I want to buy the
Mm.
Energizer Bunny one. It's the Everready, or is it the Duracell? I don't know. It's one of them. It's like, okay, so you got a 50-50. So what the hell? We spent all those millions and millions on that's it. It didn't link. It didn't link to it. That was considered one of those bad. I did a marketing study on that thing a
I'm
long.
wondering now what batteries I buy because when I go in
You
there,
buy whatever the hell's hanging in front of you when you're
that's a,
looking at it.
you know what? I
That's it.
also the batteries probably at the front of the store are
Right.
2 times more expensive than the ones in the aisles, I imagine.
Right.
Because you know what they did?
Well,
They did a study at Walmart where the soda in the front near the self checkout is $3.50. Outside, you can go to a vending machine and it's only $1.
isn't
A
that funny?
dollar outside. And then in the aisles, it's $1.25. Isn't that
Well,
strange?
remember though, it's usually it's 2.29 at the aisles right there, but it's a 22-ounce plastic
Mm.
bottle. It's an it's a 12-ounce out of the machine, and it's a 24-ounce on the shelf. So what they do is they differentiate size. So if you were ever to say, "Oh, this is this and this," and it's like, no, but you pay more for per ounce by I think the one that's right in the front there is the most expensive. It's the
Oh
same
yeah.
thing with potato chips. I mean, I'll go through there and I'll see potato chips Like it used to be a 90. It'll say six for a what is it? Uh, uh, 10 for $10.
Well, here's
But
a
they're the
question.
micro mini bags, so it's like instead of the one
I've
big bag.
those bags have gotten tiny too. There's like three
Oh my
chips in the
gosh,
bag
yeah,
now.
that's
But I gotta
weird.
ask you a question here in our last
Yeah.
couple minutes. What do D batteries even go to besides a mag light? I don't even know what they go to. Could you name
Uh,
anything?
I can. The only thing I can think of is the big mag
The
lights.
mag light, right?
Any
Yeah.
flat any other flashlight that size.
Okay, yeah, any other
The
flashlight. But other than
I
a
would
flashlight,
and they used
I
to
don't think of
be
anything.
before they used to in the olden days we used to have larger like electric trucks. Remember those electronic like self-driving?
Ah, the
Those used to have those
yeah,
batteries, and they would
I do
have
remember those
D or the like the little smaller
with the
ones. What?
robot. You remember the dancing robot? You remember
Yeah,
that? I think the Furby probably took
we
D
still have
batteries
that
too.
too. No, they had little ones.
Oh, the Furby did. I
Yeah,
was trying to get a Furby
I
the other
hated
day.
those.
I
We used to have
really
two
wanted
of
to
them.
get a Furby for you for Christmas the other day, and it was like $2,000.
I would have burned it.
$3,000.
I would have set that bitch on fire right away. Yeah. I remember I had a office mate of mine that got two of them from Nordstrom's at the, when they were the white hot thing and said, "You should get these." And I'm like, "I don't give a shit. My kid doesn't care." You were like 3 or 4. We put them on the
Yeah.
damn shelf. They talked all the frickin' time when we were not there. We'd walk in, they're like, "Woo, woo, woo," and I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." And so I'm yelling at this
Oh.
inanimate object. And we took the batteries out and everything. We couldn't get anything to work. It was incredibly painful.
And at the same time, you were listening to Khaki every night. So the cross
Oh
between
God, that was so good.
whatever. What is a Furby? Is it a chinchilla? Or what the?
No,
It's like an
it's
owl, right?
no, it's because it's got little puffy arms and puffy legs, and then furry, and it kind of looks like Goonies, one of those little furry animals there. That's what I'm thinking of.
All
That's
right,
what I
well, our
remember.
next episode's going to be on the history of the Furby, I think. I think that's
Yeah,
what
I
we're
think
going to
that's a good
break down.
idea.
We're going to
We're gonna
break
do that.
down that on the next episode.
Yeah.
But legacy wise, as a recap in these last couple minutes, you want people to be happy and remember the positive
For me, I
times.
want people to be happy. When I think about legacies, I can think about the different ways that you can make them. You can donation to different things. If you think that your name on a wall or a plaque or a building for the next 100 years matters. If not, donate it to somebody in memoriam and have them put it on their website and guarantee that they'll do it for a year or 2 or 5 years or
For
10 or
sure.
something like that. I mean, those are the kind of things. Or, make your families happy. There's things that you can
I think
do,
that's the most important.
you know.
Showing them love is
That it,
possible in any sort of light of the spectrum, right? I think that's
yeah,
always something that I like. That you've taught me
yeah.
too, specifically, is to always have those difficult conversations, no matter how hard. Nobody should go to sleep angry is something that you frickin' taught me. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
that has helped me a lot in my life. A
Well, I
lot. That
because
small lesson right there. My gosh.
it's a hard thing not to say uh when I'm angry at your mother or your mother's angry at me, I will go in the room because I'm sleeping down the hallway and stand there and say, I'm gonna go to sleep and then start a conversation. And then no matter what, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, you're wrong. And then it's like, and then you think about it for a time when you're married for a long time and you're not going anywhere. So being pissed off at each other actually makes life harder for both of you. It does. So, and being right is really who gives a shit. Uh, so it's sort of like fix it. I would rather fix it and give hugs and kisses and love than go to bed, wake up and say, "Fuck you, I was right." And then so you feel like shit. And then so what does that do? Does that somehow make me a better person because I'm this one stupid esoteric thought or idea that I was smarter than you? That's just stupid. That's
Exactly.
I would say that is low I
Self-esteem. Not self-esteem, but
exactly. I think it's
yeah,
low
yeah.
self-esteem. I think you hit it right on the head there when you say that people need to show that they're better than the thing that the other their partner. They need to show them up. And I don't need to show her up. She shows me up every day and I don't tell her that. No, but she doesn't do it, and just being smart and doing things, and going there, and she puts stuff together, and we go to Home Depot and they always talk to me, and I like look at them like I can't fix.
Just shaking her head.
Yeah, I
Shaking her head. You're
can't
like,
fix
talk to her. I
anything.
don't know how to
And
do
then, and then
anything.
I'm like, no, no, wrong person, her. And she's like over there, and she asked the question, and they turn and they talk to me, and it's just like it's comical, but it's funny.
Well, I
It's
think
so
that's
funny.
a wonderful place for us to cap off here on this week's
Yeah.
episode. And yeah, here we are at a Record of My Father podcast. Go check out our website and the Q&A section and Spotify as well. And just give us some questions. We may have some answers or
Oh, and don't forget to
more
submit
questions.
questions to Joe Rogan about our program here.
This is day 9 of us saying that. Day
Yes.
10 will be the next episode, and maybe we'll get one step closer. You never know. It's all
Yeah, I keep asking to advertise on his show, but they're not even replying.
Have you done it? Have you actually emailed them?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I did. I went on and I said I'm ready to advertise. You guys want to get money from a show that's really good?
Mail campaigns. Mail
Yeah.
campaigns are actually really important. Michael Shurtleff said that as an actor.
I think
And he
females are
mailed some
good too.
guy for a whole year, and then he eventually got to co-direct a play with him. So
I
it
know
does work. It does
it
work.
does. It does.
It just
I
takes
would
a little while.
all I had number of salespeople in a number of different teams that persistence pays off it every
Oh,
time.
without a doubt. Without a
It
doubt.
does.
Persistence is the ever giving gift of the world, I would
Yeah.
say. And
Yeah.
on that note, we hope you guys have a great week on this Tuesday and be easy.
Party on.